Drop it.
Good morning, students. Today we begin with the next topic in unit number 6, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. This topic includes parts of typical flower, taking example of hibiscus, followed by essential parts of flower which are involved in the production of microspores and the production of megaspores. So here we are dealing with the parts of stamen, the parts of carpel, microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis, structure of mature pollen grain or microspore, structure of megaspore or ovule. As we know that kingdom Plantae includes 5 divisions. First division is algae, which includes aquatic thalloid plants. Second division is bryophyta, which includes cryptogam, which includes thalloid avascular plants. Third division is pteridophyta, which includes terrestrial cryptogams, that is spore producing plants. Next 2 divisions, which includes maximum species in kingdom Plantae. One is gymnospermae, which includes naked seeded non-flowering plants, and the next division is enclosed seeded flowering plants, that is angiospermae. As the title says, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So naturally, division angiospermae includes flowering plants. There is a gift given to kingdom Plantae. As all plants unable to produce flowers, so they propagate vegetatively, that we already completed in the last topic. With the help of modified root, with the help of modified shoot, with the help of modified leaf, the plant will produce daughter plants. So these modified vegetative parts known for asexual reproduction are known as vegetative propagules. So here in this topic we are dealing with sexual reproduction, for which a modified shoot develops on the plant, maybe in the axil or at the apex, that is terminal portion of shoot. These condensed modified shoots are known as flowers. These are derived from axillary buds or terminal buds. So, a supporting stalk of the flower is known as pedicel. If pedicel is absent, the flower is said to be sessile. So, there are 2 types of flowers. Flower with pedicel is pedicellate, flower without pedicel is said to be sessile. The expanded portion on which the floral whorls are arranged cyclically is known as thalamus or receptacle. Now this thalamus is evolved in the process of evolution. It may be cup shaped, it may be vase shaped, or it may be flattened. We are not going in detail of structure of thalamus, but this thalamus which supports all the floral whorls. At the base of the pedicel there are green outgrowths known as bracts, and at the apex of the pedicel there are minute green parts known as bracteoles. So flowers are with bract or with bracteoles or without. Coming to the parts of flower, there are mainly 2 parts in the typical flower. The flower is said to be complete with mainly 2 parts. One part is non-essential or accessory because it is not directly involved in the production of gametes. The second part is known as essential or necessary part, which is producing the gametes. So let us study different parts related to accessory and necessary whorls with the help of vertical section of flower. In this diagram, you can see the base known as thalamus. On this thalamus, we can see green colored parts. These are called sepals. Now these sepals are members of calyx. Now these sepals are either united in gamosepalous condition or free in polycephalous condition. Coming to the next word, which shows bright colored members known as petals. So petals together forming the second word known as corolla. Here also there are two conditions. Fused petals in gamopetalous and free petals in polypetalous condition. Here calyx with sepals, corolla with petals forming non-essential or accessory whorls. I already told you the conditions. Now the function of accessory whorl is to protect the flower in bud condition. So entire flower, when it is in bud condition, it is protected by calyx. And when the flower blooms, the bright colored whorl is corolla. The main purpose of this whorl is to attract pollinating agents, especially the insects. Now, not only bright color, it is also emitting the scent. Okay, at the base of the thalamus, where the ovary is located, there is a nectar in most of the flower, which stores sugary fluid to reward visiting pollinating agents. Hope it is clear now. As the stalk of the flower is pedicel, without pedicel flower is sessile. At the apex of the pedicel, the expanded portion is called thalamus. On the thalamus, there are two accessory whorls arranged. Outermost is calyx with sepals. Second whorl is corolla with petals. Already I told you the functions. Now, the most important aspect in this topic is to remember essential or necessary whorls of flower. So, let us begin with the male reproductive whorl known as microsporophylls. Stamens together forms androecium. So, male reproductive part is androecium. The members of androecium are known as microsporophylls or stamens. Female reproductive part is known as gynoecium. The members of gynoecium we call carpels or pistil. Androecium is male part, gynoecium is a female part. Androecium made up of microsporophylls, gynoecium made up of megasporophylls. Microsporophylls commonly known as stamens, megasporophylls commonly known as carpels. Clear? Now, revise once again. The flower is modified, aerial, condensed, axis, developing in the axil or at the terminal end of shoot, with pedicel or without pedicel. Complete flower is having calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, of which calyx and corolla are said to be non-essential whorls. Androecium and gynoecium are said to be essential whorls. Need to remember the reasons. Why we call calyx and corolla are non-essential or accessory? Because they are not directly involved in the production of gametes. And androecium and gynoecium are essential whorls because they are producing male and female gametes. So let us study each part of androecium and each part of gynoecium. Before I begin the parts of androecium and gynoecium, the questions which will appear in exam, not only board exam, plus your competitive exam like NEET, need to remember certain terminologies related to flower. As biology is a journey, it is always necessary to remember the topic studied in first year, we need to connect with the topic we are studying now in second year. Last year in unit 2, when we learn structural organization, under that we have already learned morphology of flowering plants. The topic ends with flower. Now while dealing with this flower topic, there are certain terminologies plus symbols we have already learned along with diagram. Here I'll just revise all those terminologies which we already completed in first year syllabus. Let us begin with the position of flower on the floral axis. Axillary flower grow in the axil. Axil is an angle made by the leaf with the stem. The flower is terminal or apical, which is present at the apex of floral axis. Coming to complete and incomplete flower. Complete flower having all four whorls: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So here both male and female parts are present. So we call flower is bisexual. When the flower is incomplete, now this term incomplete refers to absence of calyx, corolla, the flower is achlamydious. Presence of calyx and corolla, which are differentiated as green colored and brightly colored, the flower is heterochlamydious. Sometimes calyx and corolla, that is sepals and petals, are fused. Then the single whorl is present called as perianth. So members of perianth are called tepals. Clear? Now, when the flower is said to be incomplete, when it has only androecium without gynoecium, naturally this flower is a male flower. Scientifically we call staminate flowers. When flower is having only gynoecium, it is said to be female flower or pistillate flower. Now there are some flowers which blooms only for the show purpose. They are bright in color just to attract the pollinating agents, but they are not at all involved in production of gametes. These are sterile flowers known as neuter flowers. Clear? Now, bract, either one or two, present at the base. It is nothing but a small leaf. In its axil the flower develops. So flower with bract is bracteate and without bract is ebracteate. As pedicel you imagine, below thalamus there is a cyclic arrangement of small numerous bracteoles. So flower with bracteoles is said to be bracteolate and without is said to be ebracteolate. Okay, coming to the shape of the thalamus. There are three diagrams given in first year textbook. Thalamus, which exposes ovary above remaining whorls. So ovary is superior. This flower is said to be hypogynous because below ovary remaining whorls are inserted. When ovary is half superior and half inferior, the flower is said to be perigynous. And the most evolved flower with vase shaped thalamus, which encloses the ovary completely, gives maximum protection. So here ovary is inferior. We said that flower is epigynous. So there are three terms related to position of ovary: hypogynous, superior ovary; perigynous, ovary is half inferior, half superior; epigynous, ovary is inferior. Clear? Then there are four whorls of flower: calyx with sepals, corolla with petals. The arrangement of sepals in calyx, petals in corolla with respect to each other is known as estivation. Then comes androecium and gynoecium. Androecium composed of stamens, gynoecium composed of carpels. Okay, this is the revision of terminology related to flower. In the topic sexual reproduction in flowering plants, it is necessary to remember vertical section of a flower which carries 5 marks weightage. Diagram with appropriate labelings definitely attract full marks. Then different whorls and their members, their arrangement. The question is optional on this, but in NEET exam the questions will definitely appear. Coming to the androecium and gynoecium now. Androecium, I have told you, it is a male part represented by microsporophylls or stamens. Gynoecium, the female part represented by megasporophylls or carpels. So in this session, I already introduced to you different terminology related to flower, and with the help of vertical section of a flower, already I introduced different parts of the flower. Now it is easy to go through each part, male and female, their members. So like this, in detail we are dealing with fertile part of stamen, fertile part of carpel, and then we continue with microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. With this, today's session I will complete.